Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Wednesday, September 7th slate of MLB action. I'm super excited to dive into it, but before we did, I did just want to go ahead and say that we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. We are trying to hit that by the time that the NBA season does start, and I will be doing a pretty big giveaway for that. So make sure that you guys are subbed for that. Also, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do, and thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me, so much more than you guys will ever know. So I really do appreciate you guys, but I'm super excited. The NFL is going to be coming back as of tomorrow, and it seems like the consensus pick there was pretty much for me to do a separate video for all of my NFL plays. So I am super excited about it. So there will be a second video going up. I haven't decided if it's going to be later today, at the time that you guys are watching this, or if I'm going to do it like at a later time on Thursday. Really just haven't decided yet. Kind of up in the air. Might be a little bit choppy here for the first part of the season, but I'm super excited about it. But before we dive into today's plays, a quick recap of yesterday, let's just have a quick word here from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by PrizePicks. If you guys don't currently have a sports book that you do use, or if you do have one and you're just looking for something new, PrizePicks is a great way to get started. As you guys can see here on the screen, we are able to bet on pretty much every single sport that you can think of. We have MLB, we have the NFL, as of right now is the preseason, we have college football, we even have things like CSGO and some esports as well. And obviously, as you guys know, I'm a huge NBA guy, so once the NBA season does come around, you guys will be able to bet on player props from there as well. PrizePicks is very, very easy to use. I do love the no-run first innings, and that is something that you can go ahead and bet on here on PrizePicks as well. It's an absolutely fantastic app and website as well. So if you guys haven't already signed up for PrizePicks, make sure that you guys do that and use code KingSanders, and you can go ahead and get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. So the way that it does work is you go ahead and pick a couple here. So I'm just going to, for the sake of the video, say that the White Sox and the Orioles tomorrow are going to have a no-run first inning. The Toronto and Boston and the Cincinnati and Philadelphia are all going to have no-run first inning. Basically, what I would do, I would go ahead and click less for all of these and do what is called a power play, which is basically the same as a parlay. All three legs do have to hit in order for the bet to actually cash out. On the flip side of things, you can also do a flex play. The flex play basically means if you do get one of the legs wrong, that's perfectly fine. You can still win some money. So PrizePicks is a great way to be able to win some money using player props and things of that nature to be able to win some money. So you can put together a bunch of different legs to win out some pretty big money. So once again, make sure you guys do use code KingSanders for whenever you do sign up. You will get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. And once again, thank you so much, PrizePicks, for sponsoring today's video. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here, and I will say, if you guys do know me, I am a full-time student as well as of right now. So with that being said, there are some days that I have to go to bed a little bit earlier than others, and Tuesday is one of those days. I do have to get up around 6:15 to be able to get ready for school and commute to school. So I will say that there is one play that's still finishing up. By the time that I get done editing it, the game should roughly be over, or at least we'll know the result of this play for sure. So I will go ahead and put it in the overlay more than likely, but as of right now, it's just kind of up in the air because I do have to go to bed just a little bit sooner. But we can go ahead and do a quick recap as of the plays that have already finished up. We did end up having the Mets -1.5. The Mets played awful, and awful might have been a huge understatement. They played abysmal. They lost like 8-2 or something. Pittsburgh came out and they were just firing, just left and right, one after another. They went absolutely ballistic. They got off to a hot start. They scored like 3 runs in the first couple innings, and they just kept going from there. It wasn't like they just stopped or anything. They literally just kept going. So, it is what it is. Then we did have the Cardinals -1.5. This one started off, Washington scored the first run of the game. The Cardinals ended up tying it, and then they ended up winning 4-1. So I'm really glad that one ended up working out for us. And the play that's still currently going on, I'm just checking my phone just to make sure, but it is still going on. We have the Rangers and the Astros under 7.5. This game started off, both teams were absolutely on fire. They ended up having 6 runs through the first 5 innings or 6 innings. Currently, it is the end or the bottom of the 7th, and they're exactly at 7 runs. So it's going to be sweaty for sure, but it is 4-3. Hopefully, neither team scores and we can cash this bet, but it's going to be sweaty for sure. So we're either going to be 2-1 on the day or 1-2. Either way, I'm perfectly fine with this. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's plays. I will admit that I am not a huge fan of this slate. There's not a whole lot of plays that I did love, so I found the ones that I personally do like the best. So the first play of the day, we're going to be taking Minnesota and the Yankees under 7.5 runs at -115 odds. And this play is simply just one of the plays that I like to take that just doesn't make sense. And if you take a look at it, New York is 4th when it comes to runs per game, one of the best offenses in all of the MLB, and that number even goes up at home. So they are in a much more favorable position. I feel like 7.5 is way too low. Minnesota is also 14th on the road, or 14th when it comes to runs per game. That number does also go up when they are on the road. So both these teams are in their more advantageous spots here. And if you look at it, this is one thing that that does make it make a little bit of sense. New York is 3rd when it comes to runs per game, but that number does go down at home. So they are a worse defense at home so far this year. Minnesota is 15th when it comes to runs allowed. So they are kind of in that middle tier. That doesn't really scare me off too much. And if you take a look at it, Louis Varland is going to be on the mound here for Minnesota. Haven't heard of him? Well, that's because that is going to be his MLB debut. So this is going to be his very first time pitching, and it's kind of like the play I think it was last week or something. We took a pitcher that had never started, and we took that run line to cover. They ended up winning outright. So I think it's going to be a very similar situation here, but it is his MLB debut. So I feel like he could potentially give up a lot of runs, but the books say otherwise. And Domingo Germán is going to be on the mound here for the Yankees. Definitely not the best pitcher in the Yankees rotation. A 3.12 ERA, 3.38 at home, and a 2.01 in his last 5. So he has actually been pretty solid in his last 5 starts, but he is a worse pitcher at home, so I think it's a little bit more advantageous here as well. The Yankees, they are 2nd when it comes to bullpen ERA, one of the best bullpens in the entire MLB. Minnesota is 16th, so I do think that does speak a little bit of volume there, but definitely nothing too crazy. Minnesota just outside the top half of the MLB. And the Twins, if you want to do a little bit of line reading, they have a pitcher that has never pitched in the MLB. This is going to be his MLB debut. The Twins' money line is set at +105. If the Twins can win this game, I think it's going to be a very, very low scoring one. I don't really think that they can outshoot the Yankees plus hit the over. I just personally don't really see it happening. Maybe it does, but I do think that this is a good spot to the under, so we're going to be riding with it. Minnesota and the Yankees under 7.5 runs at -115 odds. Now for our second play of the day, we're going to be taking the Marlins and the Phillies no-run first inning at -125 odds. Now I know this one is definitely sketchy, but it's only -125, so it is actually juiced to the NRFI as opposed to the URFI. We have seen situations where the URFI is super juiced. This is not one of those situations, and I think that the books are trying to tell us something here, because Miami, dead last when it comes to first inning runs per game, so they are a very bad offense in the first inning. Philadelphia, however, they are in the top 10 when it comes to first inning runs per game. They're in the 10th spot, so very good offense there. It's very obvious. Miami is also 16th when it comes to runs allowed, so they are not the greatest defense, but they are kind of in that middle tier. That number does drop by 0.13 on the road, so they are a better defense on the road. So I do think that's a little bit of an advantage here for us. Philadelphia is 14th when it comes to runs allowed, so they're just inside that top 15, but that number does actually drop by 0.43 at home. A much better defense when it does come to being at home. So I think that does speak a lot of volume. And Trevor Rogers here for Miami, not a great pitcher. Definitely not a great pitcher. Worries me a lot, especially if Schwarber ends up, getting in and just doing his thing. But he has a 5.57 ERA, 5.61 in his last 5, 11.91 through 11 innings pitched versus Philadelphia, and a 4.79 on the road. The only advantage here for Mr. Rogers is that he's on the road. That's it. There's no other advantage here for Trevor Rogers. So I just don't really get why this one's minus 125. We've seen NRFIs that have been minus 115. We've seen NRFIs that have been minus 110. I don't really understand why this one is minus 125 if we're looking at Philadelphia, who's a top 10 offense, Miami and Philadelphia, who are both mediocre defenses, Trevor Rogers, who is definitely not a great pitcher, and then on the flip side of the mound, Bailey Falter here for Philadelphia. 4.08, nothing too crazy. 3.38 in his last 5, so he has been a little bit better in his last 5. But 4.75 at home. He pitches worse at home. So I don't really foresee it. I don't understand it. So we're going to be riding with it. Marlins and the Phillies no-run first inning at minus 125 odds. Now for our third and final play of the day, we're going to be taking the Padres first 5 team total over 2.5 here versus Arizona at minus 120 odds. Now, I wanted to go ahead and ride with Yu Darvish because he's going to be on the mound. I wanted to take their first 5 run line, but it's juiced to like minus 155 for them to cover minus a half. If you wanted to be crazy and go minus 1.5 in the first 5, you definitely could, or even full game, but I feel like full game could potentially be a trap, so I'm just going to be riding team total over first 5. I think that it's still a really solid bet. San Diego is 14th when it comes to runs per game in the first 5 innings. So they are in the top half when it comes to runs per game. And we know how the San Diego plays. They're either really hot or they're not. So hopefully they are going to be catching a hot streak here. And they are 15th when it comes to runs per game over the course of the whole game. So I think that they're definitely a capable offense for sure. Arizona is 21st when it comes to runs allowed, and that number does actually go up by 0.11 on the road. So they are a worse defense on the road. Hopefully we can see some more of that as well. And let's do a little bit of line reading here. Like I said, the San Diego first 5, minus a half is minus 155. They expect them to be leading by 1 going into the 6th inning. Also, on top of that, the over/under is set to 4.5 in the first 5, and it's minus 115 to hit the over. So, I'm just saying that I don't really foresee Arizona scoring a lot of runs in those first 5 innings. I foresee it being a lot more San Diego, so hopefully we can see some of that. And Tommy Henry is going to be on the mound here for Arizona. 4.83 ERA over the course of the season, 4.7 ERA on the road so far this year. And if you look at his last 5 starts, 7, 1, 1, 3, and 1 earned runs in each of his last 5 starts. So he has actually been either really good or definitely not. But he does have a 1.48 whip. He's giving up plenty of hits. He's giving up plenty of walks. I definitely think that Tommy Henry can give up some bombs here to San Diego, and that's not a team that you want to give those up to. So that is going to be our third and final play of the day. San Diego first 5 team total over 2.5 versus Arizona at minus 120 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Singer signing out. Peace.